Hello, everyone. I wanted to do a quick introduction before we got into the debate to just explain to you what's going on, what you will be seeing, and help you to better navigate all of this information at once. The debate is taking place, or has taken place, more importantly, near spawn. We have, of course, the candidates right here. Toria, Ratchetoing, Unknown Error is the blank sign, and then Lucy Wolfie. The great part of this is that most of the candidates were able to come and make it, so you will see most of their opinions on the screen in a little bit. However, Lucy Wolf was not able to make it, so we urge you to please go read her responses so you can make an informed decision whenever it comes time to vote. Voting will open whenever the website is published. I will add all active players, and please note that you have to be an active player in order to participate. During this debate, you're going to see both myself and the server leader, your Lucky Star 7, act as the moderators, and we're going to ask a pre-written series of 8 questions. We then opened it up to question and answer, and then candidates were able to give their closing statements. We urge that you listen to it, come to your conclusions, and vote for whoever you deem to be most the best candidate in your opinion. Thank you for watching this video that is made by Lorecraft News, and we hope you enjoy.
Everybody's opening statements first.
That would be sublime.
I was gonna say, we can
ladies
go
first, Toria.
Sure. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna read my answers I've given because I think they're really good. So, sorry if it sounds like I'm reading from the script. It's because I am. Hello, fellow players. I know I've not been active on this server as other candidates, but I would like to share why I would be a great Attorney General for you all. It all comes down to transparency. I was a member of the commune before this, but decided to leave to ensure my trustworthiness before the election. I did not want their votes for free. I want them to decide for themselves, just as I want the rest of you to decide for yourselves. I hope my answers can solidify in your mind that your votes for me are votes for a better server and future. Thank you.
Thank you for the opening statement, Toria. Next, we'll go to Ratatoing. You want to give your opening statement?
Thank you. First of all, I just want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank the audience. I want to thank the moderators for setting this up. And also special shout out to me and Dahlia and Toria because we literally built this entire stage in the past 2 hours. So I think we deserve some applause for that.
Yes, you guys did a lovely job.
Thank you, thank you. For me, being Attorney General is really simple. I will apply the law fairly, I will apply the law consistently, and I will not rest until every player on this server gets justice. We need an Attorney General who actually knows the law, and I don't just know the law, I wrote most of the laws. Also, if you elect me Attorney General, I will start building a courthouse on day 1. That is my pledge to you if you elect me Attorney General. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for the opening statement. Unknown Error, would you like to round us out?
I don't really have much of a statement, but as you guys know, I'm kind of active on and off. But as an attorney general, I feel like I deal to serve everyone equal justice, and not just money. What? I mean, I feel like everyone deserves justice, right? And no errors in the system. Just like my name, I would prefer the system with no errors. So you get the justice you deserve. And I mean, yes, I have in the past committed certain crimes, but I am a new and changed person, and I want everyone to have the justice that they deserve. Thank you.
Did anyone else not hear her, or was that just me?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
You're far from your little mic, I think.
Oh.
Would you like to go through your entire opening statement again, or would you prefer for us to just move on? I'll leave that up to you.
My entire opening statement just came to mind.
Okay.
So you did.
In that case, those people that could discern it on stream or later on in the VOD can discern that as they will. We'll go ahead and move to the first question then. The first question is, how would you address issues of griefing and unauthorized modifications on the server while ensuring players' freedoms to express themselves creatively? I think that we should go ahead and start with Ratatouille due to the discussions that have already occurred in general. So, would you like to begin?
Thank you, Mr. Hopper27. How would I address the issues of griefing? Again, really simple for me. The law is the law. And right now, the law defines griefing as breaking, placing, or otherwise modifying blocks on another player's private property without their permission. If someone does that, I will charge them with the crime. It's not rocket science. However, there have been situations where griefing was technically committed, but it was really just playful pranking between friends. So if the victim doesn't want to press charges, then I don't think there's any need to bring it to trial. So in those cases, it's really up to the victim.
I think that that's very well spoken of a response.
Thank you.
Does anyone necessarily want to take it off next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quickly, I just want to respond to the, I can uphold the rules.
I think we should all do our own answers before we start actually getting into it here.
Really? Okay. Well, then
I think people deserve to hear what your answer is.
I think that Ratatouille isn't a moderator and has no bearing on how this should go. Satoria, please say how you were going to say it.
While she attacks me?
No. It's not an attack. I will just save this for later. We can have an open discussion later. But I will read out my answer. I will read out my answer. With no additives. So
Good.
for my answer about griefing, I would, for the main preventatives, I would encourage the use of the Dine Map zones, including like the greetings and farewells, so you know when you're in someone else's property or land, and you can hopefully know at that point you don't have the right to like grief or take anything or anything like that. So I also offer, if anyone needs help setting up those areas, whether I'm elected or not, I can help you out with those. And then also, just as Ratatouille said, I agree on this. If the victim is, wanting to press charges or sees it as a more serious matter, I will bring them the issues up to server court if they cannot be resolved with just some conversation. So there's my answer.
Awesome. Thank you for your answer. Unknown, would you like to state your response?
Yes, my thoughts on this is, honestly, with griefing, it's a little bit of a subject, I think personally griefing is when you destroy and explode a bunch of builds. I don't really feel like adding onto people's builds would be griefing. So how I would handle it personally is if the build was actually destroyed itself, like beyond repair at that point, I'd have harsh punishments. But if the build had little to no blocks placed on it or added to it, I mean, hey, it'll be like a slap on the wrist, hey, warning, don't do it next time. This is someone's build, don't do it. And I do agree with what Brett was saying with if it was a prank between people. I mean, if it was a harmless prank, I mean, hey, okay, just clean it up afterwards. Then yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, I'll open the floor now for you guys to discuss between each other. Do you guys have any responses to other candidates? And if so, please state them now.
My response to unknown error, just real quick. So I agree mostly with what you're saying, but the way you're framing it is that you kind of decide when a crime is committed, when in reality, it's the letter of the law that we need to be looking at. It's not a matter of opinion. It's just, if you violated what is written down in the law, then you should be charged.
Honestly, I have a neutral stance on a lot of things. So it would be based on if the person actually wanted to press charges. But honestly, like, in my neutral opinion, I feel like if you added like barely any blocks, like say if I placed a block down on this build, one singular block, would you charge me for griefing?
I believe if the victim felt it was griefing, I would investigate, and if I found it also to be griefing, then I would charge.
I think we need to have a little bit of a realistic mindset here. If I place a few blocks,
witch hunt.
Okay. See
that's
how he
a
reacts, people.
That's a different thing. Sorry, guys.
I was about to say, can we please let Toria speak? Thank you.
If I place a few blocks here and you really say that really bothered you and you really want to press charges, I think I would look into that and say, it's a few blocks. You know, you can get over it. I know that's harsh to some people, but as long as the build really hasn't been destroyed or majorly altered, you know, then I don't think there's a major problem. For example, the recycler statue up there that got griefed, that is a big problem because that was a lot of blocks and a lot of things to clean up. But a few blocks here and there, I really don't think that's much of a problem. So
there was a lot of blocks that the perpetrator cleaned up.
I'm talking.
Sir? Would you like to run by?
The beautiful thing about our excuse me. May I respond to Toria?
No.
Where's the moderator?
Yes, you may respond to Toria.
So you were talking about how if someone just added a couple blocks, you would decide whether to charge them or not. But the beautiful thing about our justice system is that it's not really up to the prosecutor, it's up to a jury of their peers. So it's up to a jury whether or not they will be convicted. Our job is to bring it to trial if there's any possibility that they did commit a crime. So really it's the jury's decision.
I understand, and I think we'll just have to differ on that. I think it's just a matter of common sense, but agree to disagree.
Lovely.
Do you feel like you shouldn't be jumping off with what I say? As an example, I feel like I was used there as an example when my example was used. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what?
I wasn't talking, you were talking. Were you?
Your example of a few blocks? Yeah, I did use your example. I liked your example, so thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I think that Slammerdoc has an important tangential point to this question. Would any of you attempt to resolve it peacefully before you brought it to court, or would your only concerns be to take it to trial?
Of course, if we can, we would.
First. Sorry, go.
Oh, no, please.
Okay, if you insist.
I think the moderator should tell us who's talking first.
Unknown, please talk first.
Oh, sorry. I feel like resolving it peacefully first would be an ideal thing to do before, going violent and, all that good stuff, court, suing people. Yeah, I feel like resolving it peaceful or trying to come to a peaceful resolve would be better than, trying to oh, I'm going to sue you for placing 3 blocks on my property because I feel like that was grieving. I feel like trying to resolve it peacefully first would be, or trying to come to a peaceful understanding. Like, hey, can you at least clean the 3 blocks that you put on my property, or are you just gonna leave them there? They're like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll clean up the 3 blocks, or just be like, no, I won't clean up the 3 blocks. Okay, well, I guess I'll take this to court then.
Understandable. Well said. Toria, would you like to respond next?
I think it essentially goes back to what I was saying before. Mediation, whether or not people agree on it, there's the classic win-win, or there's a win-lose, or there's you compromise. Essentially, if it comes down again to that small little block example, if the perpetrator wants to clean it up, then they can clean it up. If they don't want to clean it up, I'll clean it up. If it's not a big deal, we're not going to take it to court. Essentially, yeah, that is just how mediation is. You talk it out, and if they're still mad about it, you know what? I'll clean it up myself. It's not a big deal. So.
Ratatouille, would you like to end off this idea?
Quick question for the moderators. Is there any kind of time limit on our responses?
If I deem you're taking too long, I will tell you you need to wrap it up or make a point.
Okay. Completely fair. I'll make this brief. I pretty much agree what both of them said for civil matters, where like if one person's suing another, of course it would be preferable for them to settle out of court before actually taking it to court. But as far as crimes go, criminal trials are different than civil matters, and for a lot of crimes there will always be a victim, and that's why, I mean, yeah, if they want to work it out, that's great, but I will always defend the victim and defend them in court if necessary. I'm not going to sacrifice true justice for some crappy compromise, you know?
Understood. Server leader, would you like to introduce the next topic?
Sure. Alrighty, so we have already went through that. Our second question / topic says, in-game theft and property disputes can arise frequently. How do you propose to establish a fair and efficient system for resolving these disputes, pardon me, while maintaining a positive player experience?
You're gonna have to tell us who to go first.
I was gonna say we could start on with unknown error if you are ready and would like to go first.
Couldn't hear half what you were saying. You were lagging out for me.
Oh no, okay. I can repeat it for you, sorry. In-game theft and No, it's okay, don't worry about it. It's gonna happen. In-game theft and property disputes can arise frequently. How do you propose to establish a fair and efficient system for resolving these disputes while maintaining a positive player experience? And Trail has also kindly put it in the chat for you.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, I feel like the bottom line is, if it's not yours, don't take it. It's just as simple as that. If it's not yours, don't take it. And if you want to take something, ask before you touch. And if you touch it without asking and they want to go to court about it, then yeah, go to court about it. But honestly, I feel like you should ask before you touch. Otherwise, if it's not yours, don't touch it. It's as plain and simple as that to me.
Okay, Toria, how about yourself next? What are your thoughts on the matter?
Sure. My main standpoint is I believe everyone on a server is honest and good at heart, so these disputes can be easily resolved by just talking it out, as I've said before. However, of course, if an issue arises where neither party concedes to the other or cannot agree on an answer, I would reach out to either the admins or bring these issues up to server court if they need to go that far.
Understood. And then, Rat, what's your take on this?
Yeah, so you mentioned theft and property disputes. I want to be clear, these are two very different things, because theft is classified as a crime under server rule number 3, I believe. But property disputes are not necessarily crimes. It could just be a disagreement between two people, and in that case, they would go to a civil lawsuit, like one of them would sue the other, which does not involve the Attorney General, and I want to stay out of that because that is not within my power, nor should it be. Now, for theft, I will be very tough on theft. That is not something that makes a good, productive server. Theft is a crime, and that will, of course, be my responsibility to prosecute as Attorney General. So here's the good news. We already have a fair and efficient system for both of these, which is the court system outlined in SWAG Resolution 16. No matter if it's a civil lawsuit or a criminal trial, everyone will always be given due process with a fair trial and a jury of their peers to determine whether they were guilty or not.
Amazing. I'll give you guys 30 seconds each to begin discussing the other's point of view. We'll start with Toria for this section.
Yeah, I think the part about not involving yourself in thefts because it's not, part of our job. I agree. Yeah, it's not part of the job, but I think as a strong
Not
server
involved
presence.
in theft or not involved in property dispute. They're very different.
You said, sorry, I misread. Property
Because
disputes.
theft is a crime, ma'am.
Yes, theft is a crime. Property disputes are kind of in a gray area. Even though we are not, in charge of prosecuting those, I still think it would be great to, as a leading server presence, lead them to a peaceful resolution instead of
I disagree
encouraging
with that.
them to go to civil court.
I don't think we should extend the Attorney General's power beyond what we have been granted by SWAG.
It's not power. It's not power. It's just reaching out.
The Attorney General is limited to criminal matters, and I don't think we should taint the situation by involving.
But it's not tainting the situation. I'm just reaching out as a friend. I'm not trying to use my role. I'm just trying to be a good influence on these people who are having to dispute.
I'm just very wary about government overreach, as I'm sure you all are, and
I don't think you're actually worried about that, but
power.
Whatever.
Can you elaborate? Why would you say that?
Yeah, let me quote earlier in the debate. I can uphold the laws. I made them. So, just
I wrote them.
Everyone...
I didn't say I made them. I wrote them, and then
Yep.
they were approved by the people.
Not necessarily all of them. No. Because you are a server admin, you have more power than the average player on the server. So I would say yes, you have more power than us to enforce the laws, use the laws against us. So I just want to leave that with the audience.
Can you explain what more power do I have as admin specifically?
Is that a joke?
Please explain.
So as server admin, you have the ability to change anything you want in the Discord server, anything you want in the Minecraft server. You do not have to get swag approval because you are an admin. Just as, for example,
I have never done that, and I would never do that, especially in an elected position.
Okay, but that doesn't change the fact that you could do that. Resolution 18 even has...
If I'm being honest, I feel like Rat is like a normal player like all of us. I don't see him as like... I don't see Rat as having more power than us or less power than us. I feel like he's our neutral. But
I'm glad you see that, but that is not my view.
I'm glad there's another sane person on the stage. Now,
that is not my view. See how he attacks me? See that?
I was gonna say, if we could keep from like outright trying to attack each other, I can appreciate the bringing up that Rat is an admin and everything, and I can definitely see your point there. But let's refrain from trying to say that people are sane or not sane, and let's keep this nice and
Thank you, server president.
Thank you.
Madam Moderator, if I may, this is a debate. We're going to debate.
I don't think that needs to bring in
calling
people's...
somebody sane doesn't quite have to be brought up in a debate.
Come on, the audience wants a show. Let's give them a show.
You see how these treats this audience?
You hear this?
Figure out who we would like to have as an attorney general. I do not think that calling people sane or unsane or anything along those lines is necessarily required for that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just saying, if you can't take the stink, get out of the rat sewer. Am I right, everyone?
I get it.
I think on that note, we'll go ahead and move to the next question. No, you've already made your stink. Now please wallow in it. No, you've made your stink and wallow in it.
I wasn't allowed to respond to Toria's statement to me.
I understand that. Question number 3.
I would like to respond, please.
You may not. So question number 3. Hacking and cheating undermine...
Server leader, could you please, I would like to respectfully respond to Toria's attack on me earlier.
I think we should go ahead and move on. However,
wait.
However, let me finish, please. Thank you. We can come back to that later, possibly, as long as it stays respectful and not... Let's not cause any reason for this to get into a court session after this is all over, please and thank you.
I would just
I concur.
So Toria attacked my character, and I would like to respond so the audience can know what's up.
Well, I think we should go ahead and move on for now, like Trail has suggested. So let's go ahead and move on to question 3. Trail, if you would like to take over.
I would love to. So, question number 3. Hacking and cheating undermine the integrity of the server. What measures would you implement to ensure due process in enforcing penalties for hacking and cheating?
Okay.
Let's
Every time
begin
you're gonna have
with
to tell us who to start with.
I was going to. Let's begin with Toria this time.
Thank you. So this, brings into the fact that I am not an admin. So since hacking and cheating are such like strong issues, I would definitely reach out to an admin if there are any suspicions of a player cheating or hacking. Again, in most cases, I feel like just talking to the person in question can only lead to just more understanding and betterment of the situation. I really doubt anyone on the server would hack with a malicious intent. Maybe it's on an accident or they used a mod that's a little too overreaching. I don't think anyone's trying to hack intentionally here. I do believe in the integrity of everyone on this server. But yeah, cheating and hacking should not be tolerated if there is malicious intent. So I believe a ban of a length determined by the admins would be an acceptable punishment for that.
Understandable. Let's go to Ratatouille.
Should I respond to her now, or is that for after we each answer?
That is for after you each answer.
Okay. So the question was, shoot, what was it? Oh, hacking and cheating, right. So here's the deal. I'm running for Attorney General, not Big Brother, which means I won't be able to see what everyone's doing at all times. It's up to all of us to work together to report crime. And that's why, if I'm elected, I will launch a community watch program so anyone can quickly notify me if they're the victim of a crime, or even if they saw anything suspicious, and then I will investigate and give everyone due process. So my strategy is to crowdsource justice. If anyone sees anything suspicious that could be cheating or hacking, then I will look into it if they report it.
Understood. Finally, let's go ahead and go with unknown error.
Wait, this game is supposed to be fun. We play this game to have fun. And I don't tolerate cheating of any kind. I mean, I'm not going to be lenient if you're going to be hacking on the server. Honestly, like, why are you trying to hack on the server? Because you're not good at the game? It just makes it not fun on people. Like, for everyone else who wants to play. We play this game to have fun. You don't play this game to deal with your BS. Excuse my language. So, honestly, I wouldn't be very lenient on the first side to give them a really harsh punishment, if I'm being honest. It would be a first offense warning, and then if they get caught doing it again, it's gonna be a harsh punishment like term ban for a certain amount of months, ban for a certain amount of weeks, not days, because that'd be like a slap on the wrist. This game is supposed to be fun for everyone. If you're gonna be hacking, just get out. Thank you.
Understandable. I think we'll go ahead and begin the response section. We'll start with we'll start with Ratatouille if you would like to respond to any other candidates for this question.
Yeah, I would like to respond to both Toria and Error. They both mentioned in their responses that they would give out certain punishments for certain amounts of hacking or cheating. Like Toria recommended a ban, and Error said something else.
Perm ban? I want a perm ban because this should not
Looks
be
like
taking
we're
my
getting rained out, folks.
Yeah,
What?
we didn't quite have a roof here, so.
Wait, it's raining?
Now, to that end, with both other candidates saying that they would deal out certain punishments for cheating, if you actually go into Resolution 16, it specifically says it's not the Attorney General's decision as for what punishments are given out. That responsibility falls to either the jury or the judge, depending on if it's a criminal or civil matter. Now, Attorney General can recommend punishments, but I think it's good to keep in mind that we don't decide the punishments. It's good to have the split power between multiple people.
Can I respond to that?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that statement. We can recommend punishments. We can't give the punishments. But for hacking and cheating, I feel like that it goes above and beyond an attorney general, something we moderate. That is definitely an admin matter. So as I said, I wouldn't hand out a ban. I would recommend to the admins that they have a ban ready to hand out. So just wanted to clarify that there.
Now, in this new justice system, it isn't the admins making punishments anymore. It's the admins doing whatever the judge and or jury tells them to do, and this is another part of the separation of powers I was talking about.
But I believe hacking and cheating is not even in the realm of this Minecraft world and the lore within. That's just being stupid. So I really do think that's an admin thing to deal with.
It could be noticed in game, like if someone notices someone like randomly digging toward diamonds, like they're using X-ray. It could be noticed in game, but
of course,
yeah, it could be reported for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would go straight to someone who has power on the server, and I just be like, this dude's hacking. I recommend ban, warning, perm ban. Depends on what kind of hack you're using. But yeah, I mean, even if I couldn't decide for myself, I would recommend it. And honestly, I would recommend pretty harsh punishments because, again, it's no joke to be cheating, and you shouldn't just be cheating on a game where you're supposed to be having fun, because you're not making you're not making the game fun for other people. You're just messing it up for the rest of us if you're just gonna be here hacking, auto clicking, using using the hack where you can auto aim at people, like kill them instantly. Honestly, I feel like that should be worthy of a ban. Like certain hacks that people are using should be worthy of a ban. Certain should be used like say if they're X-raying, I mean yeah, warning. But if they're come on, if they're hacking, like combat hacking, I feel like that's worthy of a ban. Because they're honestly just stealing other people's days. They're stealing other people's stuff, I'm sorry. You're stealing other people's stuff and they're ruining other people's days by just doing that. Rest in peace.
Awesome. Are there any other comments on the matter, or should we move forward?
Yeah, just a quick. I agree. I do think there should be a little bit of leniency. For example, I followed one of Trailhopper's tutorials on how to use a PolyMC, I believe, to launch Minecraft, which is a lot better. But it was so easy to just add mods and get in the server, unintentionally, intentionally. However, that's definitely, if someone doesn't know that they're cheating and they're like, oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to use this mod, we got to give them some leniency there. But it's all about the malicious intent.
That would come down to the jury deciding whether there was malicious intent or not. That's not the Attorney General's discretion.
That's true. I just wanted to add that.
Be punishment if it's if it's like a client and it doesn't mess up any like if it doesn't involve X-raying or cheating of any kind, like say for example, the client I use is Lunar client, so of course I can make my screen brighter. It doesn't have any cheats. I can use waypoints, it just makes my life easier. So, but it doesn't have certain cheats. Like it doesn't have cheats at all. Actually, it doesn't use combat stuff with combat, so you can't just go up to someone, auto click on them and just go crazy on them. You can't use an X-ray thing, so you can't go find diamonds easily. It's harmless, and you can use waypoints. You can have a brighter screen, so then you don't always have to use torches, and it just puts coordinates on your screen. It's just harmless stuff like that I feel should be okay. But if you're cheating and gaining stuff out of cheating, you're X-raying to find diamonds, I feel like that should be a warning. I feel like that should people should know you shouldn't be X-raying to go find diamonds. You shouldn't be cheating in items in the game. You shouldn't be cheating in enchantments in the game. You know what I mean?
Well said. Okay, server leader, I think we're ready to go over to question number 4 if you'd like to take that.
Alrighty. Okay, so question number 4 is, which actually this kind of goes towards the server economy, which we had briefly mentioned, or Error, I believe, had briefly mentioned. The server's economy relies on in-game currency and trade. How do you plan to prevent and address cases of virtual fraud, scams, and price manipulation? And if I believe we could start with Rat, if you would like to begin.
Thank you. As I've said, the law is the law, and that is the motto I will conduct myself by. And right now, I don't see any laws against financial fraud. Now, of course, if Swag wants to make one, then yes, of course I will enforce it, but that's up to the people of the server, not just me.
Awesome, we'll go to Unknown Error next. Okay, we'll go to Toria next.
I believe she's muted.
I can go ahead and go
Yeah.
for waiting on Unknown Error. So, yeah, as for prevention for these types of things, I would just say there are many tools in which players can accept in-game currency and verify the amount is correct, such as the use of hoppers or other redstone-related systems. But when dealing with these currency-related issues, I do intend on bringing these issues to server court. Even though you say there's no rules against virtual fraud, scams, and price manipulation, I definitely see those as theft. That is definitely theft or any type of, common issue like that. So I do intend to bring those issues to server court as described in Resolution 16. If a civil solution cannot be agreed upon by the conflicting parties.
Could the moderators explain what exactly you mean by like price manipulation and scams and stuff? Like, give an example, maybe.
I would say a good example, a pretty easy one at least for scams, would be that you deliver a good intending a good or service to be returned to you in the form of diamonds or some service or something like that, and then that doesn't occur within the agreed upon time frame, but you're unable to reacquire the goods that you delivered. I would consider that to be a scam.
I guess something like that I would also classify as theft, but then there's other fringe examples where it might be better for one of them to sue the other in civil court. So I guess that would be more of a case-by-case thing.
Unknown Error, would you like the chance to respond?
To answer the question.
Yes. So the server's economy relies on in-game currency and trade. How do you plan to prevent and address cases of virtual fraud, scams, and price manipulation?
Well, there's no way to really prevent it from happening other than just giving people benefit of the doubt and saying, like, just trusting that they're not going to do. But if it does happen, there's going to be, I would like to say that there's going to be investigation in it. And if they do get caught doing it, they'd have to pay that person back, but 2 times what they would have had to pay before. Because, I feel like scamming does also ruin the fun for everyone as well. And theft, stuff like that. So I feel like they would have to pay back what they owe, but like 2 times what they owe. They just feel like, don't do it again.
Error, we can't hear you.
I could.
Really?
I can hear you.
I was gonna say, I could hear.
Why can't I hear? Gloria, could you hear?
Yeah.
What the?
It's because you don't want to listen to me.
I was gonna say maybe possibly check into adjusting her volume in Discord. That might be part of it. Maybe turn her up a little bit more might help.
I'm a loud person. I'm a very loud
Could
person.
everyone else hear?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I could hear.
The stream
as
can
well.
hear. The stream is saying they can hear. Mainly Slammer
It's
Dot.
on me then. I'm
Yes.
gonna
I
reload.
was gonna say, so it's just you then.
Okay. While he's relogging, does anyone...
Could Error say something?
Oh,
okay. I heard a little like coo.
Okay, yeah, that was
I
basically
didn't
it.
hear
Yeah, I was
anything.
gonna say.
I'm not going to attack people. I'm going to be very peaceful here.
Awesome. Yeah, would anyone like a chance to respond to any of the other candidates' ideas?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. Server leader, you want to take 5?
Alrighty. So, number 5 says, in a diverse and international player community, conflicts can arise due to cultural differences and communication barriers. How would you promote tolerance and handle cases of harassment and hate speech? Toria, if you would like to begin.
Sure. Thank you. So yeah, this is not me as an attorney general. This is just me as a human. Anyone of any nationality or various spoken languages are welcome on the server, but should definitely have knowledge before being whitelisted that the server is based in the U.S. and thus most of us speak English and follow standard American practices. However, I would also encourage everyone to use tools such as Google Translate, which have vastly improved everything in quality in the past few years with AI and everything like that. If any issues arise with someone who does not speak English, I will do my best to communicate with them to fix the problem. And I also put a reference to a Bible verse, Deuteronomy 27:19. So you can look that up in your leisure time. But thank you.
Hey, thank you. Rat, if you would like to continue us.
Yes, I believe this question, as far as the law goes, this really falls under server rule number 6, which says that arguing with other players is perfectly fine, but being extremely disrespectful will not be tolerated. Of course, this is a blanket indictment of any kind of harassment and hate speech, but it's also a tricky rule to enforce because it's so subjective. So the way I would tackle this is on a case-by-case basis. I would interview everyone involved and maybe get the opinions of other server leaders, and of course, see what the victim has to say about it. If the victim feels like it rose to the level of a crime, or if they feel like it's more of a personal dispute. And based on all that, that's how I will determine whether the offense rose to the level of hate speech or harassment and charge them appropriately.
Lovely, thank you. Air, if you would like to tell us your response to this? Towards the question, not towards rap. Apologies. I believe we are having some more technical difficulties because I cannot hear her anymore either.
I didn't want to say it again.
It's okay. It sounded like she might have cut out. I think she's lagging again.
I want to take
So-
this moment that was totally not scripted at all, I promise, and mention that all of these main 8 questions that we have for our candidates today will be posted on the website later tomorrow, along with the actual recording of the video. So feel free to, if your friends weren't able to make it, point them there to be able to create a informed decision whenever election time comes around. So.
We're so politically conscious on this server. So responsible.
Unknown, are you back and working yet, or should we move to responses?
If I may, I would like to, while we're waiting for Error, I'd like to respond to Toria's attack from earlier, where she said that I wouldn't be a...
let's not have violence, please and thank you. This is not a violent debate.
What's happening
Oh.
here? What did I do?
Air, please return to your podium. Thank you.
Was Error talking while I was talking? I couldn't tell.
No.
I don't
No.
know. I didn't hear her. Okay, Air, if you're having issues with the call and you would like, you can respond in chat if you need to.
She's spazzing out.
Yeah, I think she's having some difficulties.
Someone call 911.
I was gonna say nobody can hear you.
And then there were 2.
Well, we can take this moment and we'll take a quick 3-minute break to help Unknown get back.
Yeah.
Little
Hopefully.
intermission.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on
Yes.
some fun
Okay.
music, and we'll just take a
Sounds good.
3-minute
Everyone can kind of
intermission.
vibe, say hi, since we have a lovely group of people here, interact with some friends, because we have people online, which I'm excited about. Oh,
Audience,
also, if we wanted to bring it up, not haha, bringing up my own event, we are doing another ABBA caving session this coming up Saturday, so if you are interested in joining or you have any questions about that, feel free to mark that you're interested in the event, or DM me if you have any questions. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyways.
audience, I will come down to the audience area, and then we can shake hands, and I can answer questions in the crowd. But can we move the audience to the speaker area so people can talk?
I think they have to request to talk.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, Air is trying to.
Hello.
Am I hearable? Am I hearable?
Yes, I hear
we
you.
can hear you now. Okay, that's wonderful. Well, we're still gonna take our little intermission and let everybody have some fun.
I thought you guys could hear me, and that Rob was talking about me, so that's why I decided to smack him. I didn't. Great.
Yeah, it's okay. We couldn't hear you, and I was like, oh goodness.
Looking great today, boss.
Oh, thank you. Potato, lovely to see you.
Truly a man of the people.
Oh, that's right. Oh, look, Toria's copying me.
I'm just walking around.
Talia.
Yeah, you're
But not
talking.
talking.
Oh my god, that's a little. Oh, your mask is loaded. Hurry up.
What?
Hello? Wait, hold on, stand still. Wait, hold on.
Twinsies.
Oh, they're just opposites. They're just. Oh, and Rose has the same mask as us too.
So
Sus.
cute.
Rose, come here. Rose,
It's a
come here.
conspiracy.
Yeah, we're part of the bunny cult, you know?
Rick, let me
We're part of a
follow.
Well, you heard them say it out loud.
Wait,
One
what
of
did we hear?
us,
I was
one of
zoned
us.
out. I was trying to follow Trail on Twitch.
Lila, that looks so cool.
Heck, no more witch hunts.
What?
Is that armor?
Yeah, that's armor. Look, it's cool, right?
Yeah, how'd you do it?
It's
With the new update, there are armor tools.
How much left to
Oh yeah, everyone, I'd like to introduce you to my sister. This is my sister Rose.
Hi.
Hello.
Be nice to her, she's just a kiddo.
I'm an adult. I'm not a kid.
Alrighty, Trail has messaged in chat in case
Good
any
luck.
of you didn't see it that we are going to begin again shortly, so please make your way back to your spots. Thank you.
I'm ready.
We need to remember to kick the audience back into the audience.
Oh yeah, okay, wait, hold on. I don't know if I'm actually able to
I'm ready to answer questions and try not to lag
Okay.
out and be heard, you know? I'm ready to be heard this time. I'm ready.
Yes, that was just an unfortunate little technical error there.
Like my name.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, yeah. I didn't even mean to make that joke, but haha, I'm funny.
My name's not on there for nothing.
I'm not. But
Okay.
alright, well,
Hello.
hello.
I'm back, and I think, do we have Unknown back now?
Yes,
Yes,
we do.
happy
We got
back.
it fixed and everything situated, thankfully.
Awesome. Then let's continue where we left off. I'll repaste the question in chat, but if you would like to respond to that question, Unknown, and then we'll move to responses.
See, I don't honestly, I feel like Victoria had said before with using Google Translate with people who don't speak English, I feel like that is a good point. But also with harassment and racism and stuff like that, I feel like it should get a warning. And if they continue it, then it should be a little bit like more of a punishment, like a mute or a kick or a ban temp, not perm, if they continue it. And if the harassment continues there, I feel like there should be a ban for a few amount of days. But I feel like that they should have like a few warnings first. But if it really gets bad, then yeah, I feel like they should be muted. They should have their ability to talk taken away. You're gonna just sit here and, you know, harass people and say bad and mean and rude stuff. Because hey, we're trying to make this game fun for everyone. We're not trying to make this a hostile community. We're not trying to make it like a toxic community. So honestly, I feel like this should all just like, if you're gonna be toxic, take it somewhere else. Non-DMs with the person, take it somewhere else. Leave the server with it. Thank you.
Well said. Well, let's go ahead and move into the response phase. We'll begin with unknown.
I don't have any response. I think what Rat was saying. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to punch you. I think what Rat was saying, he had a really good point as well. And I really liked his point.
Thank you.
Ratatouille, since you were mentioned, we'll go to you next for a response.
Well, I just want to thank Error for that glowing endorsement. But I still want a chance to respond to Toria's separate matter about me being an admin. Can I do that now?
I believe, was that during
Unless
this
Toria
question?
Does Toria have any responses to the other?
No, not at this point. I say just let him get it over with.
Okay, let's let him get it over with.
Okay, so what did you say earlier? You said like I wasn't fit to be Attorney General because I'm an admin.
I
or
did not
something
say
like
that. I said because you are an admin, there is a possibility of abusing your power since you are an admin and you created the original Discord server laws and you have the ability to do anything you want within Discord and Minecraft.
See, I don't see that as a conflict of interest at all. I mean, it's true that no one else on the stage has the power to like go into the coding and see who changed what block or like who stole from what chest, but actually that is the reason you should vote for me, because no one else here would have access to the kind of evidence that I do. I would effectively find who stole and charge them for it, and it would be
Then
look, evidence is evidence. If someone commits a crime, you better believe that I will use every tool at my disposal to protect the people of this server, and I will not apologize for that.
Then can I ask a question? What is the point of having an Attorney General then? If you were just going to do all this anyway as server admin, what is the point of this election?
Well, beforehand it was more ambiguously defined as to who actually charged people with crimes. That was never officially given to the admins, so this is just us putting it into law, like laying out the process here and making it more cut and dry.
Okay.
Honestly,
I don't
I
agree,
feel
but
like
thanks.
Rat would be more fit to be Attorney General because, you know, he does have access to the laws and, he does have access to the laws and evidence, so he could look at the evidence faster. For example, one of us gets elected, right? We'd have to actually go ask him, hey, can you check laws, see what happened? You know, actually, Attorney Generals would be good too. But like, one of us would actually have to ask him, hey, can you check logs? I think this person was doing something, or this person was accused of something, and like, what if he's asleep? You couldn't check it automatically. He'd be like, maybe like 7 hours
agree.
later.
We do have
Like,
two
I feel
admins
like
though.
Brad would actually. I think the fact that he is admin makes him suitable for this position.
And
I
as to
think
your
the fact that
concern,
he is
as to your concern about me abusing the powers of admin for this, that's why we have two admins to keep each other in check. I'm not the only one with this power. One of the moderators actually could also do something about that.
So then I do not see the reason why we're having an election if you...
Okay, then vote for me.
That is not what I said, but I leave my statement there. Thank you.
Look, sometimes it takes a rat to catch the rats, and I'm a rat. Thank you.
Aren't you a rat? Your name rat?
Okay. Is there any other responses to that?
No.
Okay, doesn't sound like it. We'll move on then to question number 6. Updates and changes to the game can sometimes lead to imbalances or unintended consequences. Also, I would like to add an addendum here. How would you approach server rule adjustments to adapt these changes while ensuring fairness, understanding that the position of Attorney General, just like server leader, means that you will be able to endorse things that will carry weight? We can go ahead and begin with Toria.
Thank you. Again, just like you said, I have no real power over this, but I can make suggestions, and my suggestion would be any change that is made to the game or server, whether it's like a major Minecraft update, like a world gen update where we want to, reset something or change the world generation, any sort of mod packs, which, currently there's a resolution out there for mod packs, anything like that should be brought up to swag before any implementation is done. We definitely want the best experience for all players. I know Bedrock players especially suffer from changes, even just minor Minecraft updates. So it would be great. I know it's not a perfect world. It would be great if we could even do minor Minecraft update. At least notifications like, hey, this updated. Bedrock players, keep this in mind. Yeah, we just want to make sure everyone has a voice in these decisions. So, thank you.
Awesome. We'll go to Unknown. What is your response to this question?
Answer this question. Honestly, just keep everyone best updated as you can, and any consequences will just deal with by itself. If there is any consequences that come up, we'll just deal with it as it does come. I mean, yeah, like Attorney General doesn't have any real power, but we can just deal with it, when it comes, They're not gonna be like looking out for it. Just deal with it. It's then
And then, Rat, what would be your response to this?
I actually agree with both of them because, look, I'm looking at a really, narrow area of power for Attorney General. I don't want to broaden my power, and it's pretty clear that game rule changes and updates and things, that all falls under the legislature, swag's power. I would never take that upon me personally. Of course, any rule changes that happen, I will enforce as needed, but that is not Attorney General's responsibility, nor should it be.
Understandable. Are there any responses on this question?
No.
Seems like we all agreed.
Okay. Servilier, you want to take number 7?
Righty. So number 7 states, minors make up a significant portion of the player base. What steps would you take to ensure a safe and appropriate environment for younger players without overly restricting the experience of adult players? Yes, as Rat so kindly pointed out, minors as in like under 18.
minors in the server?
Yes.
I was gonna say, Rat, if you would like to start.
Thank you. I actually slightly take issue with this question because I wouldn't say that minors are a significant portion of the player base. Now, there might be a couple, but the server was originally founded for college students, and it's important for any new player to be aware that our culture will reflect that maturity level. Now, that being said, there are already rules that protect minors anyway, such as server rule number 5, which says no excessive swearing, and number 6, be respectful. Those both come to mind, and of course, I will prosecute those if necessary.
Okay, thank you. Error, if you would like to go next.
Honestly, I feel like just no excessive swearing, and obviously be respectful to the minors, because they're like kids. The point that there is minors on the server, also brings up the point that hacking and cheating and scams are actually a big part of this. Because if we don't actually stop that, then they're not going to want to play. Because, like, keep in
I'm
mind.
sorry, do you know about a specific miner who's hacking right now?
No? Who's hacking?
I think she's saying kids are more likely to get mad at, someone beating them or someone doing better than them in a game where maybe they don't realize there's hacking happening. So,
Okay.
And we just
Yeah.
want to keep it fun for the kids. It's just an example. I'm just saying, let's keep it fun for the kids. And let's keep hacking, scamming, thievery, and everything out of here, because it's not going to be fun for the kids. Yes, think of the kids. Think of the kids of the server.
In
Yes,
response to audience member Dahlia, she says errors talking about the risk of ruining a new player's experience. I would say regardless of age, a new player's experience should not rely on hacking or cheating, and I will prosecute all of that equally. I do not discriminate based on age. For this.
Based on how fun the game is going to be. If you're gonna like cheat, not make the fun, take the fun out of the game, I feel like you should play the game too.
If the only way they're having fun in game is by cheating, then they don't deserve to have fun on the server.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad we agree.
Can I give my response?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Very good. So yeah, my response is, in short, this is a Christian Minecraft server. So any adult players who want to bring in adult content should be doing it somewhere else. The server is where we should be fostering an environment of inclusivity and care for people, especially minors, so that nothing can contaminate or spoil young minds. I also put a Bible reference in here for Luke 17:1 and 2. But yeah, essentially, this is a Minecraft server. I mean, this is a Christian Minecraft. Yeah, this is a Christian Minecraft server. Any adults, I mean, swearing, is inevitable. Some people swear. I would just say limit that. I would say any sort of like sexual references or anything like that definitely needs to stay out of this server. That is, I wouldn't say that's welcome here. I know I have no power over that sort of thing, but just in general, we should just stay respectful, stay good. Thank you.
Awesome. Are there any, I know that we kind of already had responses on this question, but are there any other responses that we would like to invite now?
No responses for me. Honestly, I agree with both my opponents. I feel like Brad had said it better. But I do agree with both the opponents.
Before I go ahead and mention our final prepared question that we have, I just want to go ahead and mention that those individuals that are wanting to ask questions that are in the audience of the event, you can go ahead and click request to speak. It'll start to form you in a line. And I'll invite people after this question one by one to come in, state their question. They'll then be moved back to the audience, but they can, if they have another question, they can click request to speak again, and we'll continue to go through those questions either until we run out of time or until we are done with questions. So, yes, we may have a short break after question number 8. And yes, whoever you would like can request questions for you. But to begin with question number 8, real-world legal issues such as copyright infringement can manifest in Minecraft creations. How will you navigate these challenges and protect both players' creative rights and the server's legal standing? Let's go ahead and begin with Rat. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Thank you, Mr. Hopper27. Look, for me, it always comes back to one question. Did this player's action break the law? And currently, there are no laws against copyright infringement. Therefore, I will not prosecute that. Now, of course, if there is some case of like someone copying someone else's brand, they can always sue them and bring it to civil court and then maybe get some damages for that. But it is not the Attorney General's job to invent laws on the spot, nor should it be. That power is rightfully in the hands of SWAG, which represents the people.
Okay, we'll move to Toria.
If I may reiterate, this question is about real-world legal issues, but I will answer accordingly. Any use of art, quotes, or other creative materials should have credit whenever they're used. Even if you are building a house you found on the internet, you should give credit. This doesn't necessarily mean there needs to be a sign outside your house, crediting the YouTuber you found it from. But if someone asks you how you built it, or if it's a nice house and how'd you learn to build like that, direct them to where you got it from. I believe most Minecraft content creators would be honored to have their buildings and machines built, anywhere, including this server. So just don't claim them as your own intellectual property. Thank you.
Understandable. And we'll move to Unknown.
I feel like it's ridiculous that you'd have to say, hey, this other person built this. A random person on the internet built this, but as long as you're not as long as you're not saying, yeah, this is my own build. I mean, it's fine if you're not don't say that, but don't I feel like it's ridiculous to have to just be oh, and this idea was by this person, which is a random person on the internet, which I got the idea from. Do you really think kids are gonna want to do that? Do you really think adults, when they're coming up with ideas to what they want to build, they're gonna really want to do that? Every time they get an idea oh, a part of this build looks cool, let me actually add this to my build. And just oh yeah, this part of my build was by @random person. Oh, this other part of my build was also by @another random person. Oh yeah, this final part of my build was by @random person number 5. I don't feel like there should be a need to have to be having to link the person, or saying, yeah, this idea was by @random person who's not even in the server. But you also shouldn't be oh yeah, this is my own build. I came up with this idea on myself. Just be hey, yeah, I saw this on the internet. I thought it was pretty cool, so I just decided to base my build off of that. It's not my idea, but I'm not gonna claim that it is my idea. And as for copyright, I don't feel I feel like copyright doesn't really, it doesn't really apply in the server really, because I don't know, unless it's I feel like it would apply in real world situations, for example, copyright, copying someone else's work. I mean, I guess on the server, if you're copying someone else's build on the server, yeah, just say, hey, yeah, I copied that person's build. Don't just be yeah, this is my whole build. I just feel like stating who built it, even if it was a random person on the internet, is a little too much, because this is a Minecraft server. We're supposed to be having fun. We're not supposed to be this is not supposed to be yeah, let me just link who did this, who did that. Let me just struggle to find out who built this, what random person built this. It's a little much. Yes, you can respond.
Moderators?
I'm fine for you to respond, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm okay with that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I thought the question was talking about in-game copyright. So my first answer still stands for that. But if we're talking about out-of-game copyright issues, I mostly agree with Error. I feel it's very unrealistic and impractical to have people credit every single thing they build. Anyone who adds a build on YouTube is gonna know it's under fair use, especially for building on some random server. Of course, if someone asks, you should say, oh, I didn't, I got it off of YouTube. But that is not something that remotely falls under Attorney General's job, and any Attorney General who would charge that as a crime, I think, should be impeached immediately.
I'd like to respond. I never said I would charge it as a crime. I just gave a suggestion. I don't think it's that hard if you build a house block by block. Excuse me. I believe if you build a house block by block on a YouTube tutorial, and you don't if someone says, "Oh, I like the house. Where'd you get it?" YouTube. I feel like it's so easy to just look up the YouTube video you watched to find that house. Say, like, "Oh, I want to build one just like it. Where did you find it?" "Oh, I'll link you to the channel." It's not that hard. Yeah, sure. If you saw something on Google Images and you just used a part of it, like, I get it. It's impossible to find that. That is totally fine. But if you used like something block by block, something, you know, incredibly detailed, like let's say you build the Enderman farm and you find it on a YouTube video, you'll know how to find that again. You can find it again and link it. It's not that hard. So
Yeah, but again,
I'm
this
saying, like,
doesn't.
don't
This is
link
not
it on the
relevant to.
freaking sign. Like,
This is
I
not relevant to Attorney General's job. It
no,
does not-
but that's what the question asked, so I answered the question.
if they ask, sure, give them the link, but we shouldn't have to just link. Like, we shouldn't have to just be like, oh yeah, this is the random person I got this idea from. If they want the link, sure, give them the link. But I don't feel like we should have to like credit the person that came up.
I
Like,
never said you have to have. I said literally you don't have to have a sign outside your house or anything like that. I just said if someone asks you and they want to know where you got it from, it's not that hard to give them the link.
I'm just confused why we're answering the question, because clearly this doesn't fall under any kind of crime. So why is this here?
why is this here? I mean, unless it's serious copyright and people are claiming it for their own work. I mean, like, say this beautiful stage, someone built it, built like a separate copy of it and was like, yeah, this is my entire build. I also built the one over here. I feel like it would just cause some issues there. But if it's just like a build, like an idea, you just got an idea off of like YouTube or an idea off of images, it shouldn't be a big deal. And if someone asks, hey, did you build this by yourself? No, I saw it off of YouTube. They're like, oh, can I get the link? Yeah, sure, why not?
Another thing, we should not be stifling creativity on here. This is Minecraft. Any kind of law proposed that would say you can't use someone's build from YouTube, I would absolutely oppose that.
And I never said that.
I wouldn't vote for that person either. That sounds like ridiculous. This is a game
Disgusting.
for kids.
Governmental overreach.
Yeah,
So what
really.
I'm getting from this is pretty much everybody's in agreement here for the most part. So.
Well, Toria seems a little too eager to process that.
No.
I don't know. When did I ever
you're being
say?
more obsessed
Okay,
about
can we
the fact that
please-
we have to link everything? You're like, yeah, I got it from this image, that image, this random person,
Right,
that
I
other
could-
random
Okay,
person. That's
we're gonna
ridiculous.
start-
That's
we're gonna
ridiculous.
start
This is a
ranking
kid's
people
game.
if they're not being
This is
quiet.
a kid's game. This is a game that was made for kids. This was a game that was made for fun.
Okay.
To have fun.
This is
You're taking the
this
fun
is a
out
last
of it
warning.
if you're just
We
being
can,
like,
we
yeah,
can drop it.
credit this person.
Let's drop it, please, and thank you. Getting a bit too heated.
Play stinky games, win stinky prizes.
Like you were saying, this is Minecraft. This is also supposed to be fun.
That's
Y'all
what
are
I'm
straight up
saying. And
getting
what he's
heated
saying
about
is
this. Let's
ridiculous.
relax a little bit. Let's take a deep breath. Yeah. Okay.
We're now going to begin to invite people from the audience to request to speak with your questions. While we're waiting.
Toria needs to use the
Oh
bathroom.
yes.
Oh
we
yes,
also
we're
suggested
taking a break
short
first. Yes, that's right.
Which I also have some additional comments that I've gotten based off of responses from our lovely candidates as well.
So we will
Lovely.
begin our short break now. So be back in 3 minutes.
Alrighty. That was a lot.
Really got heated
Oh,
on
my
the last
sister
question.
said she wanted to be put in line for some questions because she doesn't have a Discord account, so she can't just be like, hey, I have a question on her separate Discord account. She's on the call with me, so she wanted to be put in line to answer as well.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fine. We can have like that, kind of set aside for us. We'll make sure that she gets to ask her question.
So question for the moderators. Did that last question, was that talking about like was that talking about like real world copyright or in-game copyright laws?
I was gonna say Trail is the one who got that one, like came up with
It was
that
ridiculous.
one. So,
That was of course like if it was like if you're like copying an exact build and you said you built it by yourself, I mean it's gonna start something, but if you're just taking something off of YouTube or
Well, also it
taking a
sounds
random
like
photo
the
off of
three of you
Google.
more or less kind of had the same standpoint. Like, if you're doing something that somebody else did and somebody asked for it, yeah, give credit. Nobody was saying that it had to be, like, you know, like, credited on a sign or anything else like that. Tori specifically said you didn't have to do that. She also just agreed that if somebody asks, don't claim it as your own, which is what both of you also said, which is why I was like, why are we getting so heated over this when y'all are agreeing?
Somehow it was the most provocative question, and we all agreed.
We're agreeing in different ways. We're agreeing in
Yeah, it
different
was
ways.
literally all
I
in
think-
agreement, just more aggressively and like slight miscommunication. That's why I was like, can we not? You guys are all agreeing on this.
I think me and Error agreed more, and Tori was just kind of, okay.
Yeah, I was like, why
My
are,
dad-
why
That's
are
why
we
we were
getting so heated over this? It ain't that serious. I mean, it is. All of these are, you know, very important. But I was like, oh my goodness, y'all.
I think Rad and I had like a better. I think Rad and I had a better understanding, and had a had a better understanding of each other, what we were saying, and how Tori came across with it didn't come across as like.
I just don't think real world copyright issues are just for fun. I think they are very valid. I think, imagine you make an artwork and someone steals it. That's, you know, you don't want that. You spend a lot of time on that. So that's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, which that's just kind of where everyone's kind of coming from, but also not at the same time.
I just,
So
some
can
people are
definitely
just
see.
too lazy to Google things. I understand. So whatever. Moving on.
Do we have moderator Hopper 27 on the
I believe he might also be taking a short break, possibly getting a drink or taking a restroom break as well. So we'll have to get back
What's
into
me?
it here in a few minutes.
Go, you can. Rat,
Also,
do you have food? Rat, do you have food?
call?
also, I don't know who randomly gifted me 2 baked potatoes, but thank you, I suppose.
I was
don't
throwing
know
my
where these
meat
came
at you
from.
during. I was throwing the meat at you during the debate. I was actually getting hungry.
Yeah, I don't know where I got the potatoes from. But yes, I was gonna say everyone can go ahead and get back into spots and all that fun stuff. Because I do believe we are about to join again. Oh, I got another potato. Oh.
Before we end the break,
Okay.
I did want to ask Trailhopper about that last question.
Here, potato.
Do I get?
You're-
I'm
you're muted,
special.
Aaron.
I get
You don't
pie.
know
I'm not muted. Oh,
that. To Aaron.
I got pie and I got potatoes. And
Yeah,
I feel happy.
Pios are also sponsored from Cubiza.
Visa's here?
Well, Cube isn't, but Bash is. And he is giving out Pios, which is their pies.
Potatoes and pumpkin pie.
So yeah, pumpkin pies are the gift.
No,
from-
I want some more. They look good. I want some more. I have a weird flavor combination for you guys. Get like those Cheeto Puffs, right? And get some Oreos.
No, I have something that I eat that everyone thinks I'm crazy for. Like even Bash thought I was weird for, but I like Cool Ranch Doritos and Cool Whip. It's not bad.
Sounds bad.
Okay, if you
Give it a
try my if you try my Oreo combination, I'll try your combination.
Deal.
Deal. Let's go.
Yeah, it's not something that I can like eat all the time, but like randomly I'm like, you know what sounds really good? Oh yeah, no.
Are we starting up
Good.
again?
I want some cheese in my ramen.
I believe we're about to get started back. Yes, I know that Trail had mentioned getting back into positions, and then we started talking about snacks.
No, snacks is good. Snacks are good. I don't want. Take your rotten flesh. I'm hungry. I want some Oreos and some like Cheeto Puffs. I want Cool Ranch Doritos with Cool Whip. You're making me hungry, Star. I want some.
Messiah complex? Who?
I'm just saying Cheeto Puffs and Oreos. I'm just saying Star.
Oh.
I'm just saying if you like the other combination, you're gonna love that.
Okay,
But you
I
gotta
will
get more of the
definitely
Cheeto.
keep it in mind.
You gotta get more of the Cheetos in your mouth versus the Oreos. So it's like an even combo of it. You know, we gotta get like an even like amount in
the
your mouth.
commercials just ended and then it came back to this with no context.
That is exactly what just happened.
Okay, question for moderator Hopper27. Did the last question refer to real-life copyright law or in-game copyright law?
It actually specifically called out real-world copyrights
Well, I know it
that are
said
being held.
real-world legal issues can manifest in Minecraft, so I thought you meant like copyright laws in Minecraft. But that's okay, just a miscommunication.
Yes to both counts.
Okay. Anyway.
Yes, Dahlia, you should. But we currently have no one in the request line, so we'll begin with Unknown Error's sister.
Yeah, Alicia. I mean, Rose. What's your question?
Can I see the phone?
Yeah, you see the phone.
Okay. You can. So, I was more curious on what did you mean by like how if the admin I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry, but if the admin was to be voted into Attorney General, would he get more power than what he already has? Like, is it like a second position that grants him more power, I suppose?
We'll direct that question to Toria to begin with.
Wait, I believe she addressed me.
Yeah, but
Hi, Mom.
You were talking to Ratatouille, right?
go ahead.
Yes. Hold on.
I'm fine with whoever can answer my question because I'm just more curious, and if so, like, how does that make it fair?
I am planning to give all candidates the attempt to respond.
It just feels not relevant to the other candidates because it was specifically a question for me.
Okay.
It's a question about you, but sure.
It can be a question for the server leader, because I think maybe she decides that. I don't know.
Well, I don't particularly have any say over the actual admins of the server. They were here way before I was, so I'm not even gonna try and get into that. But as it sits, I would purely be coincidental if Rat were to win the election. I don't particularly think that the admin part would have to do a whole lot with it because it's still two separate things for the most part, because irregardless of whoever wins the election, they would have to communicate with the admins, whether it be Rat or Trail or anybody else, with those powers in order to investigate further. So they'd be working closely anyways. The only difference with Rat would be the fact that he is also an admin.
That I believe I mostly agree with that. That was well put, and I will say that all this is doing for me to have both Attorney General and admin powers is it's eliminating the middleman between, like, every time I want to charge a crime, I don't have to go to someone else and ask if they can help me out. I can just do it, which eliminates a lot of the waste in the process.
Perhaps, but what if charging that crime, like, it's not the right thing to do? What if it's abusing the power to do that?
That's a great question.
Is there a second person to handle it?
That's a great question, and it's all outlined in Swag Resolution 16, which I wrote, and that outlines a judicial process where, as Attorney General,
Swag resolutions.
Just on the
Discord server.
I can't see the Swag Revolution things because I'm not on this Discord.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'll just summarize it. That gives me, as Attorney General, the power to charge crimes, but then it's up to a jury of other people to decide if that was actually a correct indictment. So, in reality, I've always had these admin powers as admin, and I've never abused them. So it would really just be the same power with admin and Attorney General at the same time.
All right, and then can I ask one more? Is there someone else? Because if there's someone else, then I'll just not.
Uh, I'm fine for you to ask another since you don't have possession of your own Discord account.
Thank you. Regarding the credit thing, like if the build becomes on the internet and becomes very famous, because it's possible, and if that person used it from someone else, and yeah, I do believe we kind of need uh to put credit for that. So is that kind of like what you were saying, Tori? I don't know how to say your name.
Toria.
Toria?
Yeah.
Oh, Toria. Okay.
I didn't quite understand the question. You just mean if there's something on YouTube and I build it, I need to credit for that?
No, I was wondering what you were saying about the credit stuff. So like if someone was to post their build, would they
Someone on this server was to post their build?
Yeah, if someone else was to post their build but they used it from someone else, would you like require them to credit that person? Is that what you guys were saying?
Would strongly encourage them to, if they got it from a YouTube video, for example, if they're going to post their own build on YouTube or Reddit or wherever, they need to credit where they originally got it from, because that is blatant stealing, especially if you're bringing it outside the Minecraft server. I understand within this Minecraft server, there's less issue with copyright, but if you are bringing your build outside of the server and it is being viewed by other people besides in this server, and you are not giving credit, that is exactly what copyright law is, the actual law in America.
Oh, sorry, you're
United
breaking
States,
up, so I thought you were done.
No, sorry. Good.
May I respond to that?
Sure.
I'll make it quick. Again, this is just completely out of sight. Hello?
Please continue.
This is completely outside of Attorney General's jurisdiction. Again, I would have no power to enforce someone in the real world to credit someone else on their YouTube video.
And I never said I forced anyone. I said I would strongly encourage.
I never said you did. I never said you did. I'm just saying I absolutely could not. And I would not try to, basically. That's completely their responsibility.
We all three have the same argument, right? And we're just all getting a little too heated.
No, I just wanted to understand what you guys were saying because I couldn't quite make it out before.
Professional, y'all.
It's all good, and I'm happy you asked the question. And we'll go ahead and go to the next question. So,
thank you.
Dahlia, would you like to put your question in the chat, and then, unless someone is specifically mentioned in Dahlia's question, Toria, you can take her question first.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so Toria, you can go ahead and take that. I'll read it out. Do you believe that the intent of an accused player should matter in a case, and if so, how much?
Yes. But again, it is hard to tell intent. I'd say, in the case of hacking, it's pretty easy to tell intent. But in the case of, killing someone, maybe it's accidental, maybe they want to claim it's accidental, but it's not really accidental. That's hard to say. But I would definitely try to take that into account. If I can tell, obviously you can't tell if someone's being honest, but you can get a pretty good feel for it. And then in the case of, for example, like harassment, like we talked about earlier, I think that is more about how the victim feels. So maybe the harasser didn't believe they were being harassing, but if the victim really felt, victimized by that, that would take more precedent over the intent of the harassment. So it definitely matters, like case by case basis, but that's kind of the overview of what I believe.
Awesome. Rat?
Yes, this completely depends on the crime or the law we're talking about. Like, for killing, if someone kills someone else, it honestly doesn't matter what their intent was, because server rule number 3 literally just says no killing. So even if it was an accident, if the victim feels that I should bring charges, then I will bring charges, and that is up for the jury to decide the penalty. Now, of course, the jury will probably feel a lower penalty is appropriate for someone who accidentally killed, but it's still manslaughter. It still falls under server rule number 3, no killing. So my decision here is to charge that.
Oh, it doesn't seem that some people could hear your response.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could other people hear it?
I could hear you, but Dahlia could not, and neither could Bashful or
Let me
Tato.
relog real quick.
Okay. I was able to hear you.
I was gonna say I was too.
I would suggest if y'all missed it, we go back in the stream later and just watch that.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Can everyone hear me?
I was gonna say.
Sound off in the chat if you can hear me.
Okay, they can hear.
I'll just briefly reiterate. Intent completely depends on the specific law or the specific crime we're looking at. For example, server rule number 3 says no killing. In that case, intent is irrelevant, even if you accidentally killed someone. If the victim feels like they want to bring it to trial, then I will charge that crime, and it's up to the jury to decide whether intent was should play a part in how much of a punishment there is. That's all.
Oh goodness. Okay.
That was well said. For those of you that think that he might have cut out again or something, you will be able to watch the replay on the stream. So, I'm now going to invite Secret Potato to come and give a position for Slammer Dog's question.
Did Error want to respond to the last question?
Yes, apologies. I forgot to.
I was about to say we kind of skipped over Air there because we were having technical difficulties. So Air, if you would like to respond to that, if you need someone to repeat it, let us know. Or if you.
What was the question?
Dahlia asked, do you believe that the intent of an accused player should matter in a case, and if so, how much?
The intent of an accused. I feel like the intent does matter because if it was intended to be like a harmless prank, then I mean, yeah, I feel like if it was like a harmless prank, but it turned into a harmful prank, I feel like that should be considered. But if the intent was purely to harm the other player, then yeah, I feel like that should definitely be put into consideration. But if it was just like for a prank, and the other player didn't really like it, I feel like some conversation should happen before things do get taken to court. Everyone heard me, right?
Yeah.
I heard you. Yeah.
Oh.
I believe we were good that time.
Oh, okay, good.
Awesome.
Okay,
In that
now-
case, I'm going to invite Secret Potato to come and ask a question.
Hi y'all, sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, so Slammy asked me to ask his question on Twitch. What are your stances on farms, like Guardian, Raid farms, etc., as some people see that as cheating? And then I have a second.
We'll go ahead and begin the questions with Unknown Air.
Honestly, I don't see farms as cheating, and I know some people do see it as cheating, but honestly, farms don't, they're not cheating, it just makes your life easier. Iron Farm, not cheating, Spider Farm, not cheating. Berry Farm, not cheating. I know some people do consider it cheating because, hey, you're getting an unnecessary amount of stuff by doing little to no work, but that's also just because you're building something that does provide that stuff for you. So it's technically not cheating, it's just your build doing it for you. Oh, duplicators? I mean, I guess that would, using the glitches in duplicators, I guess, if it was, for something harmless, like seeds, it wouldn't, I feel like it would be, harmless, but if it was for, something, really valuable, like certain books, diamonds, netherite, I feel like that would be a little more harmful and that should be dealt with. Like a warning, hey, you should probably stop abusing that glitch. But otherwise, if it's not like an abuse of a glitch, and if it's just like a build that's providing you this stuff, I feel like it wouldn't be that harmful. Yeah, what I'm talking about is like iron farms, like stuff harmless like iron farms. Oh. I honestly don't feel like duplicating seeds is really harmful, to be honest. Or duplicating carpet, because honestly I'd feel a little bit like damn if I had to keep going back and forth getting materials that I need. But if it's like duplicating of like really expensive rare materials, I feel like that should be looked into. That's just my stand on it though.
Awesome. Rat, can we get your point of view on it?
Okay, so in Error's response, you heard a lot of, maybe I would, I don't know if I would or not. But for me, it's super simple. Is there a rule against cheating? Or is there a rule against farms like that? And no, if we go back to the rules, server rule number 4 is no hacking. There's no rule about farms or anything like that. So for me, anything in-game is fair game, and it's not up to me to decide whether I want something to be a law. It's up to the law, so I would not charge that.
Okay. Toria, you're next.
Yeah, I mean, if a farm is in game, I think it's fair use. I do think if who's the creator of Minecraft, like Mo Yang, however you pronounce it, if they're intending on removing something, like something is deemed a glitch and they're intending on removing it, I would say I would lean on the side of caution and not use those types of glitches, even duplication glitches, if they're intending on removing, stuff like that. But again, I don't think that falls under our jurisdiction. But I do think, as Slammy said, just talking about the farms only, anything in the game is fair game. So, yeah.
Any responses to other candidates?
No, I feel like Rat, you should have a little bit more manners.
This is a debate. We're all friends here. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I rest my case.
I know Bashful had some questions in chat. I've invited them to speak if they would like. But
I was gonna say I am not entirely sure if he'll actually be able to speak. He has our daughter, but if needed, I could ask him.
No,
for
it's
him.
okay. It's okay.
You guys are married? What the? What?
Oh yeah, haha, surprise. Anyways,
I'd like to say I knew this already.
Anna, can I say hi, Anna? She's watching YouTube, so it's loud. She's very cranky right now.
Well, you can go ahead and ask your question,
Oh, yeah?
love.
I was just trying to add on to the other question because it was left really vague.
Well, I don't know if you're also watching the Twitch, but Doc also did say that he was referring to farms, not anything along the lines of, like, glitching, but if you would like to specify your question towards the glitching or anything else like that, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It was already answered.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, my response to that would be, is there a law against using dupe or glitches and stuff? No? Then I don't charge it.
A good question from the chat. How do you hope to keep the Attorney General accountable in the event that charges come against them?
Hey, that's sort of along the lines of one of my questions.
Oh, awesome. What is your question?
Well, one of my questions it wasn't exactly the same, because Potatoes was about the event that charges come against them. Mine was more along the lines of how would they react to a case with emotional involvement or attachments, and how, like, would they be able to separate themselves or possibly have, like, in general, just would they be able to keep it separate from their own emotional involvement?
Yeah, well said. Let's go ahead and begin with Rat.
Thank you. Yeah, I will make this brief because we should be wrapping up soon for everyone's sanity. But there's a provision in SWAG Resolution 16 that allows, it's not just Attorney General that can charge crimes. SWAG also has the power to charge crimes and appoint a special prosecutor who's a different person from the Attorney General. So if I'm personally involved in a case, I will propose in SWAG for SWAG to charge the crime and appoint someone else to prosecute, so I won't be personally involved.
Okay. Toria?
I fully agree with that statement. I have no additions.
Unknown error?
Like you knew it before I said it.
Honestly, I don't have anything to say about that, to be honest. So.
Okay.
So everyone's more or less in agreement there.
Yeah, I'm not very creative. I have nothing else to say. I'm just gonna piggyback off what he said. Just be like, I agree. I agree with what Rat said. I don't keep meaning to hit him. I'm just trying to air punch.
Oh yeah,
here.
you're also on mobile, aren't you?
I am on mobile.
Yeah,
How'd you know?
that's because you keep accidentally punching him.
Oh wait, no, I'm not on mobile. Actually, I'm on my laptop, but I'm like in third person, so I'm seeing the back of my head right now. So when I'm trying to like point to him, I accidentally like keep hitting him.
Ah, I see. Okay. Do we
But I
know
am
if
on mobile on my
anybody
phone.
else has any questions? I wasn't sure if anybody else had brought up any. Because I know that I still had like one or two.
Maybe one more question.
Yeah, let's
If
do
you want to
one
go
more.
ask, you can ask your questions.
So I know that throughout our lovely little debate here, it's been brought up multiple times by each of you, punishments based on like the severity of crimes and things like that, or like whatever crime was committed. How do you plan to go about that? Because I know that like in real life there, like this is obviously going to the extreme, but like first, second, and third degree murders can kind of have like different punishments and sentences based on which one it is and things like that. So I was going to see how, if you were elected, how you would go about like figuring out the severity of like what the severity of the punishment should be.
Honestly, I feel like we'd just be figuring that. Well, I would be figuring that out. Like if I got in office, I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna just figure that out now. Just. I mean, I don't really have this all planned out. I don't really think it's gonna get far. So if I do get elected, I mean, it'll I'll just like plan this out and like what degree murder, what degree, all that good stuff.
I would agree. It's basically a case-by-case basis, but the one thing I will make sure I do is it's going to be consistent across all cases. For like manslaughter would be a consistent punishment. Homicide, other kinds of homicide would be consistent with each other, basically. I would make
I
it fair for everyone.
object.
Oh.
If you have anything else, you may continue, Rat.
No, but I would like a chance to address some disgusting allegations and accusations that some people made to me earlier, so maybe we could get to that after this question.
I was gonna say, let's go ahead and let Toria answer, and then we can go back to that.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Keeping everything the same. Possibly before any crimes happen, just having a list of possible punishments and varying it if I need to. But I do want to keep everything equal. So if someone gets charged from something, someone else getting charged with the same exact thing will have the same exact punishment suggested. So.
Okay. Well, I don't really have anything else. Not sure if we have any other questions or anything either.
I think we'll go ahead and move to the end, and give everyone an option for closing statements.
Before that, may I just please address these allegations?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make this quick because I want to be considerate of everyone's time. But earlier today, the Recycler launched a disgusting smear campaign against me, claiming that I griefed her statue, which you can see behind there. And I mean, it's true, I did add the clown stuff to the statue earlier, but what the lamestream media won't tell you is that at the time when I did that, me and Recycler were both in the commune, which means we both owned that statue. And honestly, it was nothing more than a prank among friends in retaliation for an earlier prank that Recycler played against me. And since we both owned the property, my little prank was not actually griefing. Now, I understand that maybe my side of the story might be hard to believe for some of you. So, to set your minds at ease, as if I'm elected Attorney General, I promise to immediately charge myself with griefing so I can argue my case in a court of law. And I believe that once I bring all the facts and evidence in front of a jury, I trust that they will see this whole thing is just another witch hunt by Recycler who desperately wants me not to be elected. And Recycler herself actually knows that I'm innocent, which is why she really does not want this to go to court. But I have nothing to hide, so I'm confident that the evidence will speak for itself. Thank you.
I'd also like to say that I also too did grief her statue, but I wasn't part of the commune, so technically I didn't own it. But she went after Rat. She didn't go after me. I'm just gonna add that.
Thank you for your honesty.
I went to court because of it. And it was fun. But yeah, I would like to say that I did grief the statue. I also did clean it.
It's a
But
pretty serious confession for when you're running for Attorney General.
We can put a little timeout on that. Toria has a time limit here. So Toria, if you would like to go ahead and give your closing statement, that way we're not keeping you since you have things to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. I will give my closing statement. So just as a quick reminder, all these responses will be available for all of you to read, I think by tomorrow sometime. So definitely go and look over our answers again to make sure you're making the correct choice. But yeah, my closing statement, fellow players, I firstly thank you for reading my answers or watching the debate. While we as a server are electing a server attorney general, I have a feeling that there won't be much need for one. Everyone on the server is incredibly kind, talented, and no one seems to have any real malicious intent outside of dramatic lore for fun. However, since we are electing one, I graciously ask you to vote for me. Hopefully, as I've described above, my morals are clear and good and would make a great attorney general for those small instances that may arise. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Amazing. We'll do Rat's closing statements.
Thank you, Mr. Hopper27. And again, as Toria said, thank you everyone who attended and listened to our 2-hour rants. It's very appreciated, and I hope you take this into account when voting opens this week. Now, as a server administrator, just last week I had the privilege of charging someone with the crime of griefing. I got the job done quickly because I have access to tools that no one else on this stage has, and our server is now safer because of that. The truth is, I'm the only one here with the experience and ability to effectively protect the server from crime. I know the laws backward and forward, mostly because I wrote most of them, but of course I would never charge someone outside the law or abuse my powers. You deserve an Attorney General who won't go inactive, who won't play games, and who will apply the law fairly and consistently. I believe I am that Attorney General. Thank you, and God bless the Lorecraft server.
Amazing, and we'll end off our night with Unknown Error. Your closing thoughts.
I'd like to say my closing statement is I'm dropping out of the race. And
Whoa.
my vote is going to Rat.
Oh.
I'm dropping out and my vote's going to Rat. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow. Well, with that interesting plot twist at an end, we'll go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching or reading afterwards, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Let's shake hands so we look classy.